Hi everybody, it's Lily. You might have noticed that I guess for week 2 I hadn't posted a video. That's because I've been really busy. Like every weekend I have something going on. And in fact tomorrow I have something I'm going to be speaking for, so I'm kind of like, I have to do all this. I gotta get things done. Anyway, so I'm going to be posting 2 videos today. The first one is for week 2. And the questions that were asked for that were, what was the most challenging thing about recovery? What did I have to overcome? What are things that I had to accept about myself in order to recover? What strengths did I realize I had, and how did I use my unique strengths to move forward? How did I overcome certain roadblocks in recovery? What did I learn about myself when recovering? And what could I say to you guys to help you overcome your challenges and accept yourselves? Okay, so lots of questions to address, and I'm really excited that I have 15 minutes to actually do this video. So my biggest challenge in recovery, mainly, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have this too, but it's letting go of the identity of I am an eating disorder. That's all I'm good at, and that's all I will ever be good at, and that's just my identity. For me, that was definitely my biggest thing, because pretty much like everyone had gotten to know me as this person who just had an eating disorder. That's all I was. That's all I'd ever do. And not only that, but like I was just so used to using behaviors all day long and talking and thinking about eating disorders that I like didn't know what I would do outside of having an eating disorder. Like I didn't have like any passions or anything. So mainly I had to overcome that. That was my biggest, that mindset of I'm not anything but an eating disorder. I'm not anything but the anorexic girl. And not only that, but getting people to trust me again, like by myself, like with food, with all that. Do you know what I mean? What are some things that I had to accept about myself in order to recover? I had to accept that I am a person outside of an eating disorder. And I know it keeps going back to the whole identity thing, but I had to accept that there might be setbacks, that I might struggle, that I might deal with stuff, but that I will be able to get past it, and I will be able to find something that I'm passionate about outside of an eating disorder. Like you literally in the beginning, you just have to trust that there's going to be something out there that you can do, that you can be passionate about, that you will be interested in other than an eating disorder. And not only that, but like talking to people. Like I know for me, it was really like awkward in the beginning. Like I felt like I don't have anything to talk about. Like when I've been in a hospital and treatment centers and psych ward and blah, 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 what am I supposed to say when people say, so what have you been doing for the last few years? Or, like, what are you interested in? It's hard to like trust that you're going to be able to go out there and make friends and enjoy your life again. But I just had to accept that there was a plan for me, that's why I'm still alive, and that, God just has something bigger for me, and that's why I'm here to fulfill something that I'm passionate about, that there's something out there that's for me to do. At any rate, let's see. What strengths did I realize I had, and how did I use my unique strengths to move forward? I use the word passion a lot because, a lot of times we lose our passion when we have an eating disorder. We've just become the eating disorder. That's it. We just become a person with an eating disorder. We become all consumed. No pun intended, but still. And that's what I realized. I realized that I do have a passion for something, because I know that I was really like into like eating disorder awareness for a really long time, and I made movies, or I made videos here on YouTube, even though I had like, it was obvious that I was still really struggling with an eating disorder and that I was still doing behaviors, because you could just tell. And I talked about it a lot. So my biggest strengths that I realized that I had was that I was really passionate, and that if I got involved in something, I could use my passion not necessarily just for an eating disorder awareness or to help people with eating disorders, but to get out there and be passionate about, for me, it's natural parenting, um, and intactivism. I've mentioned that. I'm really passionate about natural parenting, attachment parenting. I talk to people about the, I guess, the cons of circumcision, routine infant circumcision. That's what intactivism is. And I know that's kind of a weird, sensitive topic, but in parenting, a lot of people don't understand that circumcision isn't necessary. Well, I found that I had a passion about saving baby boys from undergoing such an aesthetic procedure that's not necessary. So now I use my passion to go out there and talk to people in a kind manner and in a factual manner and help educate them. Not only that, but like baby wearing, I talk to people about proper safety for wrapping your baby and wearing them in a soft carrier. I talk about milk sharing. I wasn't able to breastfeed, so past 7 weeks. So my son has had 14 milk donors, breast milk donors, and a lot of people are like, "What?" So that's why I use my passion towards that to educate people about that. So anyway, I realize that's a tangent, and most people are like, "Isn't this supposed to be about eating disorders?" But again, my passion, I've made my passion not necessarily just about helping people with eating disorders, but about other things so that my mind isn't constantly going on eating disorders. And I think that's important because if you're always thinking about eating disorders, not necessarily, even if you're in recovery, do you know what I mean? Like, even if you're in recovery, if you're always thinking about eating disorders and how you can help others with eating disorders, you're not necessarily focused on yourself and on your own recovery. And we all have our bad days. I definitely do. And I know if there's anybody that like even follows me on Twitter, yeah, you guys know that I have bad days, and that's what I do. I just vent. That's my biggest thing. My biggest piece of advice is to vent to people that you're safe, that you feel safe around. And honestly, most of the times that just means a therapist, because you don't want to ruin friendships, because honestly, I have screwed up a lot of friendships because I end up talking too much about how I'm struggling with this or struggling with that, and or just find like a protected like source of social media or whatever, or like online blogging or whatever, and just spew however you feel. Do you know what I mean? Obviously be careful about that. You don't want to necessarily have people like hitting you up and being like, "Hey, wait a second, I thought you said you had this struggle yesterday." And at any rate, my Twitter is protected for that reason. At any rate, let's see. So, what? How did I overcome certain roadblocks in recovery? That's my response to that was talking to people I trust, being open about my feelings. Sometimes it kind of backfires. I used to hide everything inside. I used to hold it all in. And the only way that I would release is through eating disorder behaviors or self-harm. And then now that I started talking to a therapist, it's like I can't keep myself from talking. So definitely find something you're passionate about to get into, other than eating disorders, so that you have something you can put your focus towards. And I'm not saying necessarily just stay busy all the time, just busy, 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 so that you're not thinking about any kind of problems that you're having. But use discretion. I mean, if you're passionate about animals, for example, go volunteer at an animal shelter. Go back to school to become a veterinarian assistant. Let's see. What did I learn about myself when I am in recovery, I guess? I guess what I learned is that I'm not just a person with an eating disorder, and that I don't have to just be known as a person with an eating disorder, and that I'm more than that. Going back to the whole passion issue, that I'm a passionate person and that I really care about other people. And I don't just care about people who struggle with eating disorders, but I care about you know, my son. I care about people who are struggling with postpartum depression, because I went through that severely for months, and I still deal with it sometimes. You know, just I learned that I'm more than just a mom. I'm more than just a girl with an eating disorder. I'm more than just, a wife. I am me. And, I have my bad days. Like last night, I had a really bad night. I cried. I let it out. I expressed myself to my husband. But I am someone who's constantly growing. And that's one thing we should all remember, is that we're not stagnant creatures. We're not just always going to be doing one thing in our life, and that even if you feel like right now it's really hard to be in recovery, that you're not always going to be in the spot that you're at, and that, this moment will pass, even if it's really difficult. And let me see, what would I say to you guys to help you overcome your challenges and accept yourselves? First of all, like I've said over and over in this video, I'm sure I just sound like I'm a broken record, but you are more than an eating disorder. You are more than someone that's known for having an eating disorder. And even if people, I know Facebook is really, it's hard to get past the whole labeling, because if you're on Facebook, people just see you as, they just remember you as the person that posts status posts, or the person that posts pictures of being really skinny, or the person that went to treatment, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You can make friends outside of the whole eating disorder circle. It might be hard, like going out there and introducing yourself and not really knowing what to say because you've been in treatment for the last few years or whatever. But just start small, The worst that can happen is someone can say, "Oh, hi, yeah, have a nice day, see you later," and walk away, and there's no friendship. But, get passionate about something, and then go out there and, you can Google, find a group for whatever you're passionate about, gardening or animals, animal lovers, or in my case, parenting, and get involved in those groups. I know it's really hard, especially for me. I'm pretty introverted, and so going out there and, going and hanging out with other mom friends is pretty tough for me. And typically, and you don't have to like force yourself into anything. For me, I don't like going to big mom group get-togethers. Tomorrow I'm doing something really outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to be speaking at a milk sharing event for the state of California, and that's going to be really hard for me. I don't have to do that every day, but typically I just get out with like one-on-one with other moms. But get out there and talk to people, get to know people, and you don't have to share your story about being eating disordered right now, because you know what, you're more than that. You guys can relate over your passion about gardening or baking or animals or being a crazy cat lady like I am. But just move on. That's like, I think that's the hardest thing for me, even now, is moving on, is not thinking of myself as I was in the past, and, not looking at the pictures of myself back then, or not looking at, things that I said or did. You don't live there anymore. You don't live in the past anymore. So be in the present, live in the present, and look forward to the future. I mean, you don't have to be all like freaking out. No, things haven't changed yet. My future is going to be horrible. I know that I tend to do that. So, just get passionate about something other than eating disorders and go pursue that passion. Don't just stay stuck. Anyway, I hope I didn't seem like I was repeating myself too much and babbling. That's just kind of how I think all the time. Kind of go off topic. But anyway, thank you so much for letting me share my thoughts, and I hope this kind of helped you a little bit. Okay, I will be making another video for week 3 on coping strategies that actually work in a little bit, and I'll post that soon. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.